Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Kernels of Truth, brought to you by Progress Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Got I think an exciting show for you. We are going to be greeted by a few different guests tonight. So we've got Chris Hartman from the Kentucky Fairness Campaign joining us in the campaign corner. We're going to hear about some work they're doing in the legislature, an upcoming Citizen Lobby Day they're organizing. And then really thrilled that we've got two high school student representatives from the Kentucky Student Voice Team, Maggie Donworth and Lucy Carter. We're going to chat with them about some advocacy they are taking on behalf of public education here in Kentucky and some problematic legislation in the General Assembly, and then also have a book they wrote and a lawsuit that it tracks. So should be a great show. Obviously, there's lots going on. We're, I think, the halfway point of the legislature right now, the session. So lots of things happening on that front. And before I get into it, though, I wanted to just check in with our co-hosts, see how they're doing this evening. Let us know who you are, and then, yeah, how are things going for you? So I'm Aaron. I'm coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky. You know, it's been an interesting week on my end, but yeah, Kimberly, you there?
I sure am. How are you doing?
Hanging in there.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm live here in Louisville, Kentucky, Jefferson County, and I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I really don't have anything to complain about. I feel like I'm really blessed. Although everything is crashing around me in the world today, and wondering, are we going to have a war with Iran very soon?
Yeah, it does seem a little heated over there for sure. All right. And then our final co-host, Nate. Nate, there?
I'm here. Hello, hello. This is Nate Orishan coming live and direct from South Frankfurt, where Kit and I live. And I'm, like Kimberly, I feel the weight of everything going on, but I'm just so glad to be in community with some like-minded people, and we all want to do the best thing for the Commonwealth. So happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, what we like to think about is our time together, our hour of Kernels of Truth. It's really just group therapy. That's what it is. Yeah,
Yes.
talk therapy. All right. So a couple of things I wanted to flag for this crew and you folks watching online, listening to the podcast. We know that we're in a tight spot right now, as Nate mentioned and Kimberly mentioned. There's just a lot going on, right? And we really need to gear up to join the fight against Trump and his MAGA regime. We got to work together. We got to turn Kentucky purple. And folks, I want to let you know the date has been set for the next No Kings protest. This is going to be March 28th, Saturday. Progress Kentucky is going to be working with the Lexington No Kings Coalition to lead that effort. In order to make it the biggest protest yet, we want to hit that 3.5% rule, which is, according to sociologist Erica Chenoweth, 3.5% of a population engaged in ongoing organized resistance will topple authoritarian administrations in that ongoing effort. So 3.5% of Kentucky's population of 4.6 million people is 161,000 people. So we have got our work cut out for us, folks. But our Lexington event is live. You can go to this link. You can find the closest event to you. There's only, I think 3 Kentucky events on the map right now. So if there's not one by you, you should talk to progressive organizers in your community and think about what you want to do and put an event up on the map. I think it's really important that we start getting as many of our fellow Commonwealthians together to fight against the Trump MAGA regime. So and if folks know, if this is not the first time you've watched the show, we're focused on turning that outrage into action, specifically to flip the 6th congressional district. And we've been doing a lot to make that happen. It's a big job. We know that it's a legitimate competitive race, but it's one that I think Republicans definitely have an advantage. It's been won by Republicans since 2012, 12, I think. So it's a pretty, it's been pretty red for them. But I think what's happening right now, we're better positioned than ever before to flip that thing. And so we've been focused on it. We've been doing monthly volunteer events, working with Peaceful Bluegrass Resistance. Those have been happening at the Lexington West 6 Barrel Room the first Monday of the month. 40 to 50 folks have been coming together to write postcards to voters that need engagement, dialogue, and encouragement to show up for next November's election. We're going to be back there March 2nd, Monday, March 2nd. Please join us. You can sign up on the website. We'll share that link. I think on Monday, March 2nd, we'll hear from Sherilyn Stevenson. We've heard from David Kloiber. We've heard from these are the folks who are running for the Democratic nomination for the 6th district. So please come on out if you want to hear from Sherilyn, and most importantly, do the work necessary to expand the electorate to be able to win that race. So we're also doing the similar effort in Madison County. So if you're in Richmond or Berea, we're going to be at the Richmond Library on Saturday, March 7th, doing these postcards from 1 to 3 p.m. Please do join us there. And then finally, if your handwriting is just too illegible to be helpful in writing postcards, I feel you, I see you. Please make a monthly contribution right now via our secure online website, ActBlue, to help turn Kentucky purple. $6, $16, $61 is actually the price of a roll of postcard stamps. So we're trying to send out thousands of postcards, which means we need thousands of postcard stamps, which means we need thousands of dollars. So it's pretty pricey. We'd love to have your finances as well as your volunteer time. So check it out. Help us out. Whatever you can do is absolutely appreciated. And we also been doing, we did our first activist workshop event. Our friend Kit O'Connor led a great workshop on nonviolence, kind of the history and the importance of nonviolence in our organizing, our activism. I don't want to put you too much on the spot, Nate, but I know you were there. How did that event turn out from your perspective?
I thought it went really, really well. So there was a lot of information to share. Luckily, we had 2.5 hours, so it took a little pressure out of having to talk at breakneck speed. And there were a lot of really useful exercises that we broke into groups and did, considering ways of responding to aggression nonviolently and ways of presenting in sort of a protest environment, following nonviolence, which when we get into it, it's not just a tactic, it's sort of a way of life. Yeah. So it's kind of a big ask, asking people to be nonviolent. No. But the room was packed and people are into it. So
that's great.
Les bon temps roulés.
And kudos and thanks to Kit for putting the time and energy and resources into preparing that and running that session. So really great. We've been, we're talking about doing maybe a monthly activist workshop. So, watch this space. We'll let you know if we do it. One of the big thanks to the Willow for hosting that. Really gracious of them. So yeah, we've had some great partners in the community doing important organizing work. So I know one thing we want to spend a little bit of time to do is just to commemorate one of the great committed organizers to the kind of civil rights movement, steeped in that nonviolent tradition that we lost this week. Of course, that's the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and he's somebody that I think got a lot of attention, maybe 84, 88, when he headed the Rainbow Coalition, the Operation Push. His work, he ran for president. And what I think is really remarkable about that coalition, which truly was a rainbow coalition, very diverse, working class crew of folks who were working hard for a more progressive leadership from the Democratic Party. But what was really impressive, I thought, was their commitment to voter registration and getting new voters into that coalition. In 84, that effort registered, I think, 1 million new voters. In 88, it was 2 million new voters that they registered. So really helping to expand the electorate, getting more and more people involved in our democratic process, which I think is critically important. But I don't know, Kimberly, any thoughts on Reverend Jackson's passage?
Yes, a remarkable individual that paved the way for a lot of the freedoms that we take for granted these days. He stood up. And just a few things that people might not know that he was also a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. protege as well. He was basically what you wanted to call a young lieutenant. Was around Dr. Martin Luther King all the time, and he was also at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis when Dr. King was assassinated in 1968. Another cute little fact is that he was an all-star in high school in basketball and baseball, and he received scholarships for football. But the irony of it is because he's a world-renowned preacher, speaker, but he received a D in a preaching class at the Chicago Theological Seminary. So go figure that.
Huh.
Go figure that.
Wow.
And also just real quick, people don't know that he successfully negotiated the release of numerous international prisoners, including in 1984 U.S. Navy pilot Robert Goodman from Syria, 22 American prisoners from Cuba in 1984, 3 U.S. soldiers from Yugoslavia in 1999, and he did receive the Medal of Freedom from President Bill Clinton in 2000. So he had a lot of things going on, but he will be remembered and his legacy, I'm sure, will continue. I just wonder, who do we really have in this era of time that will stand up like Reverend Jesse Jackson? Times have changed, and what can we do now to make sure that that legacy continues on?
Yeah, a really impressive individual for sure. His commitment to organizing. That picture that we were showing, I think, was an event he did in Hazard, Kentucky. So he came through the state when he was organizing for those presidential runs in '84 and '88. Turned out big crowds in Lexington and Louisville. But I mean, this is not a small crowd in Hazard, Kentucky. So really awesome to see.
I met him a couple of times. Very nice man, very tall man. Um, but he did have a lot of connections on a consistent basis out of Kentucky. So I think, although they may only show that he came to Kentucky a few times, he came other times underneath the radar, as we like to say, as well. He had close connections and loved Kentucky.
Yeah, awesome. And you met him. You met him yourself, huh?
Yes.
Very nice. All right, Nate. Any thoughts you want to add?
No, just that he was an American hero. He touched so many lives and was involved in so much, and just rest in power.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to news of the week because, like I said before, we got a few different folks we're talking to, so we need to kind of keep it moving tonight. And I think
I can take a hit, Aaron.
This is like more caution to myself, really.
Okay.
Yes,
I know he's not talking to me. Thank
No,
God.
I would never,
Thank
never.
God
never.
it's not me tonight, Nate. Thank God.
We got your back, Kimberly.
Them fighting words. No, please. I think news of the week. We're starting with Nate, so you take it away, sir.
Okay, thanks. So this one comes fresh out of the Kentucky Lantern Factory. That's a bad metaphor. It was published on Kentucky Lantern earlier today, and it's about this bill SB 80, Senate Bill 80. And the deal is this is a bipartisan bill that would it leads the way to restoring voting rights to people who have felony convictions. Now, what it does, it wouldn't do it right off the bat if it was passed. What it would do is put it on the ballot for this November. So I'm not going to belabor this too much, except to say that Senate Bill 80 is the brainchild of Senator Jimmy Higdon from Lebanon, the county seat of Marion County, and Senator Keturah Herron from Louisville. And it, quote, proposes a constitutional amendment to restore the right to vote after a felony conviction, except when the felony involved treason, election bribery or fraud, a crime against a child, or violent or sexual offenses. So, but barring that, it would help pave the way to restoring voting rights to a population that has been systematically. Listen, Kentucky is one of only 2 states that doesn't automatically restore voting rights after you've served a sentence for a felony. So, I mean, we are way behind the curve on this one, and this would do so much. So, I guess 3 things. 1, just because a legislator is Republican doesn't mean they can't work on progressive issues and work across the aisle. 2, this is a long game. Senator Higdon has been working on this for 6 years, and he found an ally in Keturah Herron even before she was elected. In other words, he was plugged into other activists who were working on this as well. So this is evidently a passion for him. And he's, they say politics makes for strange bedfellows, but this is definitely one person that we're glad is sort of working on this. And my last point is to you, our loyal listener out there in Kentucky, call the legislative message line. What's the number? 800-372-7181. That's 800-372-7181. And tell your senator and tell your representative that you want them to support Senate Bill 80. And tell Nate sent you. That's it for me.
Yeah, this is like such a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
Like, why in the world are we one of 2 states that don't automatically restore voting rights for people once they've served their time? It's insane to me, but that's Kentucky. I think, is the other one Florida? Maybe, I don't know.
I know, right? Yeah, I want to say North Dakota, but anyway, yeah, no, it's not a list of honor. So let's get off that list. Yeah. We'll shame the last state into doing it.
Let's do it. Let's lead there from the rear. Kentucky likes to do. All right, Kim, anything you want to add on the this piece of legislation? I'll take that for a no. All right. So next story. This one is interesting. It also comes to us from the Lantern because that's our favorite paywall-free source of news, and they do a really good job of paying close attention to what's happening in the General Assembly. So this is one I did not see coming. Apparently, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was in town today speaking in front of the lawmakers in the Kentucky House, and he was testifying in favor of a resolution requesting a national convention to propose a constitutional amendment to require a balanced federal budget, right? So there's big, right wing loves to have the balanced federal budgets. We've got a requirement here in Kentucky. A lot of states have these requirements, which make it, makes it impossible for them to deficit spend. Of course, the state budget's a little bit different than the U.S. budget. The U.S. budget is, an entity that prints money, so it gives the U.S. a different perspective on deficit spending to a degree. But this is, so this, if you look at the story, the Lantern kind of wrote it to lead with a back and forth between DeSantis and Beshear. Because I think Beshear said something kind of nasty about DeSantis, like they wouldn't want to ride an elevator with him, and then DeSantis kind of punched back at him. And really, that stuff, I don't care. I don't really care what these guys said about each other. What's more important, I think, is what they're advocating for. So, balanced federal budget, is bad policy. Really, requiring a balanced federal budget is bad policy. Economists across the political spectrum agree about that. But this was something that, the House Committees on State Government Elections, Constitutional Amendments, and Intergovernmental Affairs heard this presentation from DeSantis, Elkton, Republican Representative Jason Petrie, and Lauren Enns, who leads the national campaign for a balanced budget amendment. But the committees did not actually take action on the resolution itself. But he's doing this. He's going around the country. He was in Idaho in kind of a very similar situation, talking about how important it was that we have get the national debt under control and stop government spending. The League of Women Voters has been tracking this. Currently, 28 states have passed resolutions calling for a convention to address balancing the national budget. 28. It takes 34 states to actually call for a constitutional convention until it happens. And that calling for the constitutional convention sounds interesting. It's historic. We'd have a constitutional convention, and they could, limit the federal budget. But the actual analysis of what a constitutional convention would do, there's a 2019 report that Kentucky Center for Economic Policy, our favorites, they issued a report urging the General Assembly to avoid joining a call for national convention, as it, quote, could lead to extreme, wide-reaching, and unpredictable changes to the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights if states decide to address other issues during the convention. Because once you call the convention, all bets are off. Anything can be happening. Who's actually in that convention this is horribly underdefined in our Constitution. Right. So it allows for one, does not talk about who constitutes it, what they would be able to do within it. And the whole thing seems like a pretty wild ride. Would be guaranteed if folks who were in that room that had called for that constitution maybe had additional goals beyond just the budget. So I think beyond the Kentucky Center for Economic Policy, Common Cause has also flagged this as a really dangerous step. It's like if you thought Project 2025 was bad, the folks who did that Project 2025 to wholly rework our government to advance their, I'll just say fascist white nationalist agenda. The Heritage Foundation started supporting a constitutional convention just after Project 2025 was released. And I think it's not because they care that much about the budget. I think it's about the other things they could do, making sure Roe v. Wade was gone, making sure that other civil rights were gone, limiting, we've already seen this administration showing very little regard for our, constitutional protections, how ICE has behaved. They have definitely ignored a number of different, constitutional rights. So I think that, this is a dangerous step. I think our lawmakers are, not really paying attention, except I will say this, Representative Ann Gay Donworth, who called this a 5-alarm fire. All right. So she raised concerns during the meeting saying that Article 5 of the Constitution doesn't direct conventions to focus on just one issue. Quote, saying, I'm not willing to put our entire country at risk over this. And I think the idea of having a balanced budget is wonderful. I think we should all aspire to that. However, that's Congress' duty. They're not willing to do that right now. Then we need to look at reforms there and Congress, not a constitutional convention. So it is, again, economists requiring balanced federal budgets would be very unsound economic policy. By forcing Congress to cut spending and raise taxes during economic downturns, worsening and lengthening recessions. They also said it would prevent federal borrowing for capital expenditures, such as infrastructure and other investments in the nation's future. And in 97, when Congress considered a balanced budget amendment, 1,000 economists, including 11 Nobel laureates, issued a joint statement opposing it. So, yeah, bad idea. It's kind of a little bit of a sleeper, and we need to really call people's attention to it. So that's why we spend a little bit more time on this than I intended, I guess, because I think it's a really big deal. And when Ann, Representative Donworth, calls me to say it's a 5-alarm fire, I pay attention. So yeah, definitely think it's something worth our time and energy. So, any quick responses from Nate or Kim?
Just say no to stealth political extremism. So,
yeah.
No.
Let's do it. Let's say no to it. Kim?
I agree. How can you trust them when you've got U.S. congressmen making racist posts and all? This is just another story. As I've always said, I'm not surprised or shocked.
All right, we'll see what happens with it in the legislature. Like I said, they just heard about it today. They didn't actually vote on the resolution. We'll keep an eye on it. I know that we've encouraged folks to call about an earlier bill in support. This will be one we encourage you to call against.
Yes.
All
800-372-7181.
Nice. Parker, can we get a graphic with the phone number on it? Because that's always a good thing to have flashing up on the screen. All right, but we need to move on. We've got the campaign corner. Really thrilled. Every year during the General Assembly, we like to check in with this guest, Chris Hartman with the Kentucky Fairness Campaign, the preeminent organization advocating for LGBTQ plus rights in Frankfort. So, I know that there's always something going on in Frankfort. And when it comes to LGBTQ plus rights, it is rarely good. So join us. Well, thanks for joining us, Chris. Tell us what's the story right now. What's happening in the legislature?
Well, it's great to join my favorite colonels. It's so much better to be here than in Frankfurt. And I'm so pleased with myself that I chose not to go to Frankfurt today, not knowing that Governor DeSantis was going to be there, but what a treat. What a treat for me that I stayed home on the day that Governor DeSantis would be building.
Dodge that bullet.
I tell you, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket today. I'm doing okay. You're right. LGBTQ rights constantly in peril in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Happy to chat about that, but I'm just happy to be here.
Wonderful. So we in the fact we've had Olivia Croth on, who's a great journalist, covers these issues for Queer Kentucky, I think, and she had flagged the anti-drag. Yes, thank you. The anti-drag bill seems, each and every year they got to bring the anti-drag bill up. But beyond that one, or is there any update on the status of that bill? What else are you guys watching, paying attention to?
I will say that, the drag bill, we've actually only faced 3 years, different versions of it. Mm-hmm. We had an interesting respite in 2024. No drag bill introduced at all, I think, or no, last year, 2025, no drag bill introduced. But it is back this year, House Bill 360, but not moving right now. What is moving and what is very dangerous, and this is a 5-alarm fire for us, is the healthcare discrimination bill in the Senate. Senate Bill 72. Senate Bill 72 would allow any healthcare worker, not just your doctor and your nurse, but the receptionist checking you in, the custodians cleaning the rooms, the folks working in the cafeteria at the hospital. It would allow any of them to refuse to serve patients and be able to refuse to do key aspects of their job for almost any reason, including prejudice, if they can justify it as a sincerely held religious belief, but not just religious belief, an ethical belief or a moral belief, literally anything. And this is a bill, we faced the drag bill 3 times. This is a bill that we faced 7, 8, 9 times. It's been a consistently failed, bad idea in the Kentucky General Assembly. And yet it has been inching closer and closer to the finish line each year. So we are really worried about this one this year. It's already passed the Senate, passed the Senate Health Committee, passed the full Senate last week on Friday. And so in the House right now, and we certainly hope the House is going to reject it again. But folks have got to make that call. And I know we all know the number by heart. We could say it in unison. 1-800-372. There's that graphic.
7181. You got to call. They're just the nicest people. They're just so helpful. And you don't have to know your legislator. They're not quizzing you, right? They're going to let you know based on your address who represents you, which is really nice. They'll let you pick who you send your message to. So it seems like the full House right now for that bill. That's Senator Donald Douglas's bill, Dr. Donald Douglas's bill. So I guess his commitment to a functioning healthcare system is less significant than his commitment to right-wing ideology. I don't know.
Well, and what Dr. Douglas thinks this bill does is not what it does. What the bill does is allow Alliance Defending Freedom to keep weaseling their way into the Commonwealth of Kentucky. They are one of these large national special interest groups that are constantly finding different ways to chip away at LGBTQ rights and the rights of marginalized folks all across the United States of America. This is just their latest attempt to get their foot in the door here in Kentucky. They sat next to Dr. Douglas, smug but silent, and just sort of sat there and helped shepherd it in by their own presence.
All right, so that's a good one to watch. Bad one to watch, I guess. We will make the calls. Everyone will call tomorrow. They're open during the business hours. Whenever you're hearing this, if it's business hours, call them. Actually, they say later. They go earlier, so it's not bankers hours. Give them a call. And then, I also know you guys have your kind of upcoming Citizens Lobby Day. So tell us a little bit about that. When's that happening, and how can people get involved?
Yeah, we hope everybody will come and join us, raise your voices for LGBTQ rights in Kentucky next Wednesday, February the 25th. Is Statewide Fairness Rally and Lobby Day. Those who can join us in the morning, we're going to gather at 8:30 a.m. in the back of the cafeteria in that Capitol Annex building. Folks know the old Capitol building is closed right now, but right across the street, Capitol Annex. We'll feed you breakfast in the morning at 8:30 a.m. We'll get together. We'll do a little lobby training. We'll go out, meet with our state lawmakers, and then at 1:30 p.m., in the Capitol Education Center, which is, it's all on the same parking lot complex. So Capitol Education Center is on top of the parking garage at the Capitol. That's at 1:30 p.m. We invite you to join us. And Governor Andy Beshear just made a big announcement today. No, not that announcement. He announced that his new book is coming out. I bet there will be another announcement soon. So Governor Beshear will kick off the Statewide Fairness Rally. Again, he's the first sitting Kentucky governor to join that Statewide Fairness Rally, and he's joined it every single year that he has been governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. He'll be joined by his lieutenant governor, Jacqueline Coleman. We'll have former Kentucky Poet Laureate Silas House, and so many other great LGBTQ and allied Kentuckians speaking up, making their voices heard for LGBTQ rights in the Commonwealth.
Wow, that's a mouthful. The fact that he is doing it while juggling a very aggressive national media schedule really does show that he cares very much about fairness in Kentucky.
Well, he's on that book tour.
That book tour. All right. So that other announcement might be happening anytime. We have said it on the show. I'm going to just keep saying it. That man is running for president. That is. And
oh, wait, which Ron DeSantis?
Yes, probably him too. I don't know. He flamed out so pathetically last time. I don't know that he's going to do it again. But at any rate, yes, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Always appreciate your perspective and the work y'all do. So important. And so next Wednesday, join Chris in Frankfurt along with all his friends and the governor. How cool is that? All right, thanks again. We'll put the link in our show notes so folks can register for the lobby day. Now we need to move on. Really thrilled to be talking with our next guests. So we like the youth here at Progress Kentucky. We're fans of the youth. Parker is our sometimes producer. He's quite young. He's still in high school. So,
he's of the youthful persuasion.
He's very youthful. And this is, I think, maybe the third time, maybe the fourth time we've had representatives from the Kentucky Student Voice team join us. It's really exciting. I'm going to let them tell you a little bit about the Kentucky Student Voice team. And then we got a couple of big issues that they're working on right now that we want to draw attention to. But so joining us this week, Maggie Donworth and Lucy Carter with the Kentucky Student Voice team. Hey there, folks. Thanks so much for coming on. Tell us, Maggie, a bit about the Kentucky Student Voice team.
So the Kentucky Student Voice team is a group of around 100 Kentucky, mostly high school students, but we also have adult partners and then senior advisors, which are undergraduate students. And we have 4 teams that are all student-led, adult help as well. We have research, which the title kind of speaks for itself. We have storytelling, which includes podcast, the New EDU, which is our own publication, which is all student run as well, and our communications team, which runs our social media and our website. And then we also have our policy team, which includes bill tracking and advocacy for student school board representation. And then we also have our litigation team, which I am actually the coordinator of. And that includes our lawsuit and our recent book.
Awesome. And we're going to talk about the lawsuit. We're going to talk about the book. And then where do you go to school, Maggie?
I am a sophomore at Tates Creek High School in Lexington.
Okay, awesome. And then Lucy, what's your role with the organization and where do you go to school?
I also am a sophomore at Tates Creek High School. I'm on the policy and litigation teams at KSVT. So awesome. I'm on the student school board team. I'm in policy, I'm in litigation. I go to the litigation events. I'm doing this interview for you guys right now. This is part of the litigation team. And I joined in October, so I'm pretty new to KSVT, but I've loved it so far.
Awesome. So cool. All right, so let's stick with you, Lucy, because you are helping on the advocacy work. So tell us a little bit about SB 114, what it does, and why the Kentucky Student Voice team decided to come out against the bill.
SB 114 is an undemocratic takeover of Fayette and Jefferson counties, which both have more than 25,000 students. And it would take away our right to elect our school boards. So instead of having parents and teachers and your neighbors elect your school board, it would give the power over to the city mayors and the officials, which obviously is not good at all. So KSVT decided to speak out against that because we have always been an advocate for transparency, especially in school governance. So we feel that the issues in Fayette and Jefferson counties regarding the misuse of funds need to be addressed.
Awesome, Nate.
Yeah, so Lucy and Maggie, you both are students, as you told us. So I guess the question arises, why would it matter to you who gets to pick who's on the Board of Education? I mean, you guys don't even vote yet.
I can start. It matters to me personally because, again, I am a student. I have to live with these policies that the board creates. So I deserve to know that the people making those decisions care about me and not about the officials that they have been elected by. And I will be able to vote in about 2 years. So it is a little bit discouraging to see that my right to vote in my education could be taken away before I even get a chance to use it.
And I'll just add that even though we are not able to vote, these are the decisions that will be directly affecting us as students. We are the firsthand people who are witnessing what's going on in education. So if there is a policy change within our school districts, we or our parents will never have any chance to go against it, which is obviously horrible.
Thanks, Maggie. Kimberly, you have a question for Lucy?
I sure do. Hi, Lucy. My question is, can you speak to the state legislature's larger efforts to target school boards and certain school districts?
Yeah, sure. So House Bill 649 is extremely similar to Senate Bill 114, except for the fact that it would require a county school district having reached an end-of-year enrollment of 25,000 students to add 2 board members appointed by the Auditor of Public Accounts, which the appointed members would have to hold a bachelor's degree and have at least 5 years of finance experience. And then Senate Bill 1 would shift the powers from boards to superintendents in all of our school board decision-making. And then another one, I'll give you a third. Senate Bill 152 would replace local school-based decision-making councils, which are elected bodies of parents, teachers, principals, and in rare cases, students, with advocacy councils that report to the school principal. This bill would actually shift all of the responsibility to the principal instead of giving students, teachers, and parents say it all.
Yeah, so they don't seem to have a lot of respect for school boards and kind of, it seems like they're definitely getting in the middle of a lot of these different decisions. So how can people take action against SB 114?
Sure. You can do testimony at the Capitol Annex, which hopefully I'll be doing next Thursday if they ever decide to hear Senate Bill 114. Anyways, if you can't do in-person testimony, then you can email and call. We see a lot of public outrage for House Bill 500, which regards the budget, that lawmakers respond when people overwhelm their emails, phones, Facebook accounts, Instagrams, voicemails, anything at all. If you just reach out and you're really annoying, they usually respond. So while it can feel very repetitive or hopeless, it is really our only opportunity to get our voice out there.
Awesome. So make the calls or be annoying online, Lucy says. So whatever it takes to annoy the lawmakers into not doing something ridiculously stupid, which would be passing this bill. Awesome. Think anything else you want to say about SB 114 before we move on to the book? Lucy? I'm going to take that as a no. All right. So let's go ahead and check in now about the book. This is really exciting. Maggie, do you have the book? Can you show us the book?
Yes, I have it with me right now, right here. Here it is in all its glory.
Wow.
Why Kentucky students are suing the state. Catchy title. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about this book that you published and why are you suing the state?
So this book it tells about our lawsuit against the state. So basically we filed this lawsuit against the state about this time a year ago to call out the state legislature for not living up to their promises in civics education. And this goes back to the Rose decision in 1989, which outlined 7 capacities of education, which includes physical and mental health, arts and cultural education, and career readiness were the main issues. And our book retells this in a very readable manner. It has graphics and it has student perspectives and just it's a very easy read. It's very digestible. Highly recommend. So we filed our litigation to try to prevent any further damage from happening and try to eliminate the funding disparities between rural districts and urban districts and improving teacher pay and retention and just to provide all students with equal access to education and make sure that all of these 7 capacities are being upheld all across the state, not just in certain pockets. So on the 1-year anniversary of the filing of this lawsuit, we decided to publish this book, and it basically recaps what our legal complaint actually says in a very presentable manner.
Awesome. Nate?
Yeah. So talk about a little bit about this litigation. What's its current status? I know it's been going on for a little while.
Yes. So with our litigation, we recently heard back from the courts, and our motion to dismiss was denied on all counts. And now we are moving into the next phase, discovery, and we will begin requesting information from the state and be collecting documents, data, records, all related to how Kentucky's education is funded, governed, and administered, and relating to these 7 capacities that are outlined in our lawsuit. So yeah.
Awesome. Kim, final question for Maggie?
Yes. Why did you decide and when precisely to publish this book?
So we decided to publish this book when we realized that a lot of people can't really access legal documents or don't know how to read them. And we like as a student-run organization, we know how a lot of things are inaccessible to young people and just people like the general public in general. So we decided to relay our lawsuit in a very like presentable format, like a very, very easy to read with like colorful graphics, striking data points, like graphs and graphics and pictures throughout. And it's also mixed with student testimonies throughout. So yes, we basically decided to publish this book to make what is going on more accessible to the general public. And we started writing this book, I believe, I'm not sure exactly when, but we have been working on it for at least the past like 6 months, I think since like April minimum of last year. And but yes, it has been recently published and is available on Amazon or on KSVT's website.
Oh, nice. Can we get it at Joseph Beth?
I don't believe so right now. I think as of now, it's just available on Amazon or through our website.
Love going to Joseph Beth. Don't like going to Amazon. But I can do it. I can do it for the team. All right. So, hey, are you sure you didn't write this book because you're running for president, Maggie?
Not yet. I'm only 16.
Oh, right. Yeah. That'd be a long campaign. You probably shouldn't announce just yet. Even the book, you don't do the book too much in front of the election. All right. So, anything else you want to tell us about Kentucky Student Voice Team or your lawsuit or this bill? I think it seems like you guys are getting a lot out of being involved with the organization. Where can folks? How should folks find out more about getting involved? Do you have to be? I mean, you said there's the senior advisors. Those ancient folks who are undergrads, and then there you have some adults that are involved. But best way to get involved is obviously if you are a Kentucky student. Seems like you're the kind of target audience. But yeah, what should folks know about the organization and getting involved?
So it's actually really easy to get involved. Obviously, we have our 4 main teams. So it's very easy for Kentucky students to decide what they want to do. And even within those teams, there's different aspects you can focus on. Like if you're just interested in one particular aspect, you can focus on that. It's a really great organization for all Kentucky high schoolers and a great organization to support, even if you're not a Kentucky high schooler. We do a lot of positive work within our communities. And if you're not able to get involved, if you're not able to physically get involved at our events, such as our Rose Revival campaign hearings, next one is on Saturday, February 22nd in Danville on arts and cultural education. Just a little plug there.
You're gonna need to do more on that one. I'm sorry, Maggie, to call you out. I don't know what this is, but it sounds very intriguing, and I know
it is very intriguing.
We have some audience in Danville. So what is it doing? Why would people come out? What do they do?
So we are with our Rose Revival campaign. We are having hearings around the state on different aspects of Rose. And so far, we've talked about mental health, teacher retention, and civics education. And this is our 4th in the series, and this will be in Danville on arts and cultural education. And we will have several witnesses from the Danville community who have worked in education or in the arts education space. And yes, it is very interesting. Lucy will actually be one of our examiners. So she will be one of the students that are asking these questions to the community experts.
And then is that open to the public then? You don't have to be either a questioner or an expert? Or
Yes, of course. It is open to the public. I can send an RSVP link here. It is preferable that people RSVP, but not necessary at all. It will be at Center College. I will send the details in this chat right here.
Nice. Lucy, what kind of questions are you going to ask these people?
Well, I am a co-counsel, so we came up with questions that really pertain to our witnesses. So we have 4 witnesses. They're all in the Danville community, they all used to work. They either like actively work in arts and culture education, or they used to. So a lot of our questions are very directed towards their personal lives. But the reason that I decided to personally be like one of the head people in this hearing is because I take arts education very dearly. I will tell you something personal about myself. I have had 3 surgeries on my right arm, and it has made me unable to do sports. So instead of doing sports, I turned to music, and I've played cello since I was in 6th grade. And it's really been a great way to express myself. And culture is another big thing for me, because I know you probably can't tell, but I am mixed, and it's just, I love learning about new cultures. It's just, I love it, truly. And the questions, if you want to know the questions, I can't spoil, but if you want to know, come to our hearing in Danville.
Nice. Way to tease it.
I can't spoil the questions for you guys, but if you really want to know, 3:30 to 5:30 at Center College.
Perfect. Well, that's so wonderful. Nate or Kim, any final questions for our just fantastic guests?
Yeah, what do your classmates think about the stuff you do? Not the ones that are involved, but you know, the friends that you guys have. Are they supportive?
Our friends are very, very supportive. We are actually very close friends at school, so all of our friends hear a lot about KSVT. I think one of our friends is coming with us for the hearing on Saturday, so very excited about that. All of our friends are very supportive, but they might be a little bit tired of us both talking their ear off about it, because we are very, very proud of our work, but they are very proud of us for doing this work.
That's great.
Awesome.
Lucy, anything to add?
I just think both of them are absolutely great, and I see bright futures ahead for them. I truly do.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I'm going to put in the comments. Oh, yep, there it is. Learn more, RSVP right there. There's a link in the comments. You can click on it to find out more about it. And of course, we will put a link in so you could get the book as well. All right. Well, Lucy, Maggie, thank you so much for sharing a bit of your time with us and the important work you are doing with the Kentucky Student Voice team. Good luck with it all.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So that's the show. We've covered a lot for sure. We have in fact plugged the legislative comment line a number of times. If you don't know it now, I don't know what's holding you back. 1-800-372-7181. If you need the bill numbers to specifically refer to, those are in the comments or in the show notes, so you can make sure to make those calls. Again, don't call right now. Well, if you're watching live, don't call right now. If you're listening to this or watching this after the fact, if it's during the workday, maybe earlier, maybe later, call. So do that. They're really nice folks. There's important legislation that's being decided as we speak, and really critical that folks weigh in. So, all right, I think that's it. I think that's it for this week. Kimberly, can you talk us out?
I sure can. It's been a great show. Just honored with all of our listeners and viewers that tune in every week to hear what we're talking about, and all of these things that is news that can actually be used. Lucy and Maggie, it's just great to see young people like that. And of course, Chris Hartman, what can I say that hasn't already been said, right? Great individual. Well, Progress Kentucky is a nonprofit organization registered with the Kentucky Secretary of State and organized as a 501c4. We are affiliated with the Indivisible Project and Common Ground Kentucky Action, and we are also proud members of the Forward Kentucky Network. Progress Kentucky's goal is always to educate, organize, increase voter turnout, and advance a progressive agenda through civic engagement. We will be back next week. We'll be speaking with another great guest. You know how we do it here on Kernels of Truth. And of course, we'll have our usual updates on Kentucky political news with our own progressive views. Production of episode 247 was by our very own Parker Williams. Thanks, Parker. Nate Orshan wrote and performed our theme song. You can find more information and music at natosongs.com, and that's NATO songs.com. And if you miss our weekly live stream on Facebook or YouTube, audio podcast, and our show notes are always available on Apple, Spotify, and just about wherever you get your podcast. And when you do listen to the podcast, please, please, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you are listening. We thank you, listeners and viewers, for joining us on Kernels of Truth tonight, and we will see you the same time next week. And in the meantime, have a great rest of your week.